Hello everyone, I'm Frank. Welcome to Frank Puzzles. Today's average level difficulty puzzle today is called The Centurion by Abdul the Killer. And here are the rules. Standard Sudoku rules apply, which means place the digits 1 through 9 in every row, every column, and every box. Shading. In the completed grid, cells containing numbers exactly one greater than an immediate neighbor, diagonal or orthogonal within their box are shaded, and otherwise unshaded. So cells containing numbers exactly one greater than an immediate neighbor, diagonal or orthogonal within their box are shaded. That's interesting. So, for example, if this was a if this was a 6 and there was a 5 within the box, so say there was a 5 here, or you could even have it diagonally, it seems, or there was a 5 here, this would have to be shaded, right? Let's make that blue. It was easier to see. Let me just double check this. In the completed grid, cells containing numbers exactly one greater than an immediate neighbor, diagonal or orthogonal. So this is orthogonally, which means you share an edge. Diagonally is obviously diagonal. Within their box are shaded and otherwise unshaded. Interesting. Yin-yang. The shaded cells form a single orthogonally connected region, as do the unshaded cells. No 2x2 region is fully shaded or unshaded. So, the shaded cells, okay, so basically yin-yang means that it has to follow this a pattern something similar to this, where basically all the shaded cells and all the unshaded cells form so all the shaded cells are in one region and all the unshaded cells are in one region. And basically, you can never have a 2x2 space with all shaded or unshaded. So if we made this a shaded cell, then this would not work because we have a 2x2 space that's unshaded, and vice versa. So say we remove this, then we'd have a 2x2 space which is unshaded. So something like this is possible because there's no first of all, it's all connected together. So all the unshaded and all the shaded cells are connected together in one region for each one. And there's no 2x2 space where all of them are shaded or all of them are unshaded. So that's yin-yang. Arrows. Values in cells with arrows give the number of shaded cells in the indicated direction. All possible arrows are given. Okay, so that's important to note because that is a negative constraint. So a negative constraint means that you know that all cells. Okay, so what do arrows mean? Arrows mean that, for example, if this was a 5, so it's a 5, there are 5 shaded cells in this direction. That's all we know. So it could be some combination of like this with this and that, or something like that. So we know for certain that there's 5, but only 5, right? Now the negative constraint, so again, it could be in any pattern, right? So it could be like something like that. It could be just remove that and there. It could be all contiguous, right? It could be all of these and not this one, right? So we don't know which shaded cells there are, but we know there's 5 because it says 5 here. Now, if this was 3, there would be 3 shaded cells there, right? And also we know that if there is a 5 and there are 5 shaded cells, this is not possible because this would have to have an arrow with it. So the 5 would have to be pointing this way, and it would have to be an arrow. That's what the negative constraint is. It says it's all possible arrows are given. So basically, that's saying that you cannot have a situation like this where there's a 5 and then there's like 5 arrows, 5 shaded cells in the direction from there. Or if this were like a 3, you could not have something like this, where there's 3 shaded cells in a direction, right? Or 3 shaded cells in a direction there. That's actually a very interesting and a very important constraint to know. Anyways, those are all the rules, and if you'd like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now, I'm going to get started. Let's go. Okay, that's interesting. What we do know about the arrows, so for example, this has to be 1, right? This has to be 1, and they're both shaded. Right. In the completed cells, cells containing numbers exactly 1 greater than an immediate neighbor in their box are shaded. So this is unshaded. This has to be shaded because if it were unshaded, it would, first of all, there would be more than 1 unshaded regions, which is not possible. Second of all, yeah, yeah, there would just be more than 1 shaded regions. So that's the reason why you can't do this. So that's shaded. Now, one interesting thing about this is that it forces this to not be 1 and this to not be 1. And we know, shading-wise, there's always going to be, whatever number this is always going to be 1 greater than anything around it. I mean, sorry. It's always going to be greater than 1. And there's always going to be something that's 1 less than it in the surrounding cell. So therefore, this has to be shaded, and this has to be shaded, right? Because this one always has, so actually we also know this is shaded and this is shaded too because of the same reason. Because it cannot be 1 and this can't be 1. So therefore there's, if it's a 2, there's always going to be a 1 around here. This is 3, there's always going to be a 2 around here. There's a 4, there's always going to be a 3 around here, etc., etc. Right? So this is, okay. Also the arrows, we know at maximum what they are, right? So this obviously had to be 1 because it had to be shaded both ways, right? Oh, that's actually very interesting. Anyways, so this we know this is a maximum of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is 1 through 7. This is 1 through 8. This is at most 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is at most 2. So this is 1 or 2. This is at most 2. So this is also 1 or 2. This is at most 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has to be at least 2. So it cannot, this is 1 or 2, this is 1 or 2. Neither of these are 1 or 2, right? This is 2 at most, this is 1 at most. So one of them's shaded 2, and the other one's shaded. So this cannot be 1 or 2. This is 3 through 8. This is at most 3. 1, 2, 3. This is at most 3, so it's 1 through 3. This is at most 3, so it's 1 through 3. This has to be 3. This is at most 2. This is at most 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it cannot be 1 because it sees this amount. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. this sees at most 2. It's 1 or 2. So this is 1 or 2, this is 1 or 2. This sees at most 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 3 or 4. This sees at most 7. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's what the arrows give us, right? We also know that there's at least 2 here, so this cannot be 1. This is 1 or 2. So one of these is shaded once, and one of these is shaded twice. This is 3. Okay, so one of these is 3. So because one of these is 3, that means one of these 2 has to be shaded, at least. So if that's the case, then we know that this has to be shaded too, right? Because if this were green, and then this were blue, actually that's not true. Yeah, this could go all the way around technically. Actually, no, it can't. So if, okay, let's think of this, let's figure out the logic. Say this were unshaded, right? And this is shaded. The problem is, what happened? How does this connect? How does the unshaded cells connect? The unshaded cells would have to be something along the lines of this. But the shaded cells, to form one contiguous region, has to connect around all the way around. And this is a common setup for yin yang. We know because of yin yang that once you have the break in one area, you cannot have the break in other areas. So for example, you can't have like greens around here, right? And then blue and then green, right? Because how does this connect with this while this part also connects with this? It can't, right? Because you have the blue, it has to connect to this part somehow. But that necessarily blocks the unshaded regions from connecting with this. So there would be 2 unshaded regions. So for the yin-yang puzzles in general, once you have something that breaks up a contiguous area on the border has to basically extend to be the colors that are on the outside. So basically these 2 would be on the outside. And so then this would have to be all shaded, if that's the case. But if this is all shaded, we have a 2x2 square where basically it's all shaded. So that's not possible. Therefore, what we know is one of these is shaded. So because one of these is shaded, first of all, we know this has to be shaded, right? Because if this is unshaded, if we have anything that's unshaded in here, we know that this goes on the outside. Right? And then you have that problem of having a 2x2 space that's completely shaded. Therefore, we know this is shaded. One of these 2, actually this one has to be shaded. We know that for certain, because either this is 3 in which it's shaded, or this is 3 in which it's shaded, right? So either way, we know that one of these 2 is shaded. Okay, so this is 1 and 2. One of these is shaded. The other one is not. So this is a shaded and an unshaded pair. So we know at least one of these is shaded. This cannot be 3. Can it? No. If this is 3, actually it could be, I guess. Very unlikely. So this could be 3 this way. At least, okay, so we know. So this is shaded. What we know is that the unshading, like, it can't, the farthest this shading can go is here. right? Because if it goes any further, you have a 2x2 space. It's all shaded. But this could also be unshaded too. We don't know. This can't be 2. This has to be at least greater than this. So this can't be 2 or 3. This is 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. So if this is shaded, at most it shades up to there. Same with this. This shades at most up to here. So we know all of this is unshaded. Right. Right. So this is 3. Okay, so then we know this is 4 through 9. This is 4 through 9. This is 3 through 9. This is 4 through 9. This is also 4 through 9. This is 3 through 9. Right? Okay, so this is shaded. This is shaded. This has to be shaded also, because it's a 2x2 square. Also, we know it's in the middle and it can't be a 1. So this is also shaded. Oops. Shaded. This one we don't know. This one has to be shaded because it's in the middle. And remember, it's within the same box. Oh. Okay, so this has to be 2. So this has to be 2 because we already see 2 shaded, right? Because this can't be 2, this can't be 2. So this is 1, right? So this is 1, this is 2, this is 1. So this can never, 1s are all unshaded. So this has to be shaded. So this can't be 1. So one of these is shaded. We don't know which. This is 1. So this is 2 or 3. This is 2 or 3. So this is 1. So that means these 2 are unshaded. One of these is shaded. Both of these are shaded. So therefore, this has to be shaded because it has to connect. Therefore, this is not shaded. This can't be 2x2 or unshaded, so this is shaded. So we've got 1 that way, 1 that way. This has to be 5 then. So this is at least 6 or 7. So there's no 5 here. This is shaded, this is shaded. Can't be 5. There's 1 this way. So since this is at least 6, that means this has to be shaded. Right? If this were unshaded and we had a shaded in between, that wouldn't work. Because again, like the yin yang would basically, one of the shaded part would basically be broken, or the shaded part would be broken into 2 different areas. Or the unshaded part would be broken into 2 different areas. Okay, so this could be 3, cannot. Okay, so it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at most. So it's 5 at most. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4 at most. This is 3 or 4. If this is 3, this would have to be 2. So this would be unshaded. This is 1. You follow each way. Interesting. This is 3 or 4. It has to be 3, right? Because it's 3 there. So this is 3, which means all of these are shaded. This is at least 4. All right. So all 3 of these are shaded. Because you have 3. This is 1. There's only 1 here. There's only 1 here. Interesting. This can't be 3. So we know 3 is one of... Okay, so this is unshaded because all 3 of these are shaded. Therefore, this has to be shaded. On top of that, none of these could be 3. None of those can be 3. This has to be 3. That's 4. This is 5. So that means both of these are shaded. Because we see 4 shaded that way. So this has to be unshaded. And this has to connect with the unshaded. So this is all unshaded too. This is 5. This is 5. So that works. This is 4. So we have 1, 2. So 2 out of these 3 are shaded. Don't know which. There's 5 here. This is 3, so that's that's above that. 4 has to be one of these 3, and it cannot be that one because this is okay. So if 4 is here, it's not next to a 3, and it would be unshaded. So this can never be 4. 4 cannot be in either of these because the 5 has to be next to it in the box. So these can't be 4. Therefore, we know this is 4 because it has to be 5 has to be next to it, and then the 4 has to be next to 3, or be unshaded. It can't be. So basically, it would have to be next to the 5. Those 3. If it was here, then it would be shaded. That would be 3. So this has to be the 4. This is 6, 7, 8, or 9. So this cannot be 6 because if it's a 6, that would be shaded. So it can't be shaded. This could be 6. This can't be 6 because it's not next to a 5. Otherwise, it would be shaded. So 6 is one of those 2. This has to be 6 because we know exactly how many that is. So this can't be 6. Therefore, this is the 6. So this can't be 6. This can't be 6. We have at least 4. It's 4 this way. This is unshaded, so the 3 cannot be anywhere here. So the 3 has to be one of those. This is 5, so the 4 cannot be anywhere next to it. So they're both 4, which means that can't be 3. So 3 cannot be here. It has to be one of these 3. Cannot be here because it sees both 4s, and the 4 would be shaded if that's the case. The 3 has to be one of those. Similarly, this can't be 2. So 2 is one of these or one of these. 6 has to be one of these. So either this is 6 or that's 6. If this is 7, that's fine. If that's 7, that's fine. If that's 7, that's fine because the 7 is not next to the 6, so it would be unshaded. But in both of these situations, the 7 is next to the 6 and shaded. The 1 is never shaded, so 1 is always shaded. Oh, this is 2. Right, so this is 2, so these are all unshaded because we already have the 2. So that's 2. This counts 1, 1. This has 6. This has 5. We've got 1, 2, 3 unshaded. I think the rest have to be shaded, right? Yeah. So these are all shaded because we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So those are all shaded. So that's the one shading. So this cannot be shaded, which means this must be shaded. This has to connect somehow to the shading part. Okay, so one thing you know about yin-yang is you can never have a situation where this is green, where one part is shaded, one diagonal is shaded, and the other diagonal is unshaded. So this can never be the situation, right? Part of this is because how does this green section connect to this green section without blocking this section connecting with this? And the answer is you can't, right? If this connects, it has to go through one of them and then it surrounds that. So this can never be the case. Therefore, if you ever have a diagonal and ever have a diagonal being one shading, and then the other diagonal has one of the other one, then it must be the same as the diagonal shading. So this has to be unshaded. And if this is unshaded, this cannot be 3. So this has to be 2, right? Because if it's 3 here, this is 2. Therefore, it would be shaded. Therefore, this has to be 2. This has to be 3. So, and the 3 is shaded here. So all 3 of these are shaded. We know this is shaded because it cannot have a 2 by 2 square where it's all unshaded. So this has to be unshaded. So now this is unshaded. We know all of these have to be shaded. So this has to be unshaded. This is a 2 by 2 space. So then all of these become unshaded. And we know now this is 1 because we have one shading here. So this cannot be shaded. So this is unshaded. 2 by 2. This is 3. It's fine. This is at most 3 and at least 2. Okay, this is 2 or 3. 1. So 1 is one of these. So we have 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's be 7, 8, 9, 7, 8. 5 is one of these. Okay, so if this is 6, that would not be next to 5, so the 5 would have to be here. If this is 6, that would have to be next to 5. 5 is there. So either way, 5 is over here. So we know this is 5, which is next to 4, which works. So 3, yeah, 3 cannot be there. 6 either way works there. 2 could be 2 has to be one of these 3. Because it has to be next to 1. I guess it could be here. It could be not there. It cannot be here because it's not next to 1. Okay. That's fine. 3. We're looking for 1. This can't be 1. This is 1 and 4. So this has to be 1 and 4. Means this has to be 2 and 3. Right? If this was 2, the 3 would have to be shaded. If this is 3, the 4 would have to be shaded. If this is 2, so therefore 4 and 2 are next to each other, and 1 and 3 are next to each other. So this is also 7, 8, or so this cannot be 7 because it's not next to a 6. Therefore, this is 8 and 9. This has to be 7. This can't be 7. This can't be 8 or 9. This can't be 8 or 9. This is 6 or 7. If this is 7, that doesn't work because the 6 would have to be there. So therefore, this is 7. This is 6. We have an 8, 9 here. This is a 2, a 3, and 8 or 9. Okay, so then the 9, the 8 cannot be anywhere here. So, because it's not next to 7. So this has to be the 8. So this is 9. This can't be 8 because the 9 would be shaded, otherwise this is 7. This is 8. This can't be 8. And this can't be 9 because the 9 has to be next to that. The 2 already is one of them. The 3 cannot. Could be there. So this is 7, this is 5, this can't be 7, this can't be 7, this can't be 8. Okay. So what we have here, this can't be 9. This cannot be 7, because that's there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So one at most is shaded here. This cannot be 2. Because if this were 2, these would both be shaded, and therefore it would have to have an arrow. So that can't be 2. This cannot be 2, because if this were 2, you would have 1, 2, and therefore that would have to have. So this cannot be 2. So 2 is one of these two. This is fine. That's 3. This is 1. This is 3. This cannot be 1, because if this were 1, this would have an arrow pointing that way. This could be 1, because there's nothing there. Any of these could be 1. This one just cannot be. 1 is here, here, here. 1 is one of these 3. Okay, so 4 cannot be here. If 4 is here, the 3 is here, right? And we know that the 4, if it's shaded, would have to be next to a 3. So this cannot be 4. Therefore, this must be the 4, and it's shaded. Because the 3 is not next to it. So since that's shaded, then we know this is 3. Oops. This is 3. We don't know if it's shaded or not. This can't be 4, so this is 5, 7, 9. This is 2, 4, 6, 8. We know the 2 has to be one of those. That's fine. This is 7. So this is 2. This becomes 2. This is 3. The 2 cannot be next to 1, because otherwise it would be shaded. So that's 4 and 1. 3 is not next to 2. So none of these are 1. So this has to be 1. This cannot be 1. This is 1. One of these is 1. Okay, so this is 7. I'm not sure how much that is. This is 3, which, okay, so 2 could be shaded. So all 2 of these. So this can never be 4. Cannot be 4. Because it's next to a 3 and then unshaded, which is not this. So this is 1, which means these are unshaded. Because we've already got the one that's shaded. This is 3. So both of these can't be shaded, but one of them. So one of them has to be unshaded, one is shaded. This is 1. This is 5, 7, 9. This is 4. This cannot be 5 because if it would be next to a 4 shaded. So 5 is one of these 2. Either that's 2 or that's 2. This is 3. We don't know if it's shaded or not. 2, 4, 6. 7, 8, 9. 2, no. It cannot both be shaded. Oh, sorry, unshaded. Therefore, this has to be 5. Right? We know we have 1, 2, 3, 4 shaded. Both of them cannot be unshaded, so one of them has to be shaded. Therefore, we know this is a 5. This can't be 5. So one of these is shaded, one of them is unshaded. We don't know which. No, we do know. This is 2. If this is not shaded, sorry, yeah, if this is not shaded, this would also have an arrow down this way, so this has to be shaded. So this is unshaded. So this is shaded, which is a 7 or 9, so the other 6 or 8 has to be there in correspondence. 5 has to be one of those. Okay. So not all of these are shaded, otherwise it would be here. So one of these is unshaded at least. It could be 2. These can't all be unshaded. This can't be 1 and 1. Could be. Okay, so this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can't be 5 or 6, can't be 4, can't be 7 or 8. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No 3, no 3, no 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3 is one of these. If this is 3, that has to be 2. If this is 3, that has to be 2. If this is 3, that has to be 2. Okay, that doesn't really help us too much. So 9's one of those. 2 has to be one of these. If this is 3, this has to be 2. If this is 3, that has to be 2. Oh, wait. So this cannot be 3. If this was 3, this would have to be 2, and then it would no longer be shaded. So that can't be 3. 3 cannot be here. 3 cannot be here. Therefore, 3 is one of those 2. Don't know which. This is 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. 8, 4. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 2, 4 here. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, 5. This is 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5 is one of those 2. So one of these is shaded. The other one is not. Interesting. Okay. Both of these cannot be unshaded. But both of them also cannot be shaded. Right? If both of them are shaded, this would be 5. And that would see 5 shaded cells. So there would have to be an arrow there, but there's not. So one of these is shaded and one is unshaded. Here, these both cannot be shaded. this can't be 1 and 1, interestingly enough. So it has to be either both shaded or non-shaded. Oh, wait. The 1 is there. The 1 is unshaded. Therefore, both of these have to be unshaded, right? If one of them is shaded and one is not, which we know the 1 is one of those two. So one of them's unshaded. If the other one were unshaded, it would be 3. Sorry, if one of them, the other one were unshaded, it would have to be 3 shaded in this direction from here. And there's no arrow pointing that way. So we know one of these is unshaded, so both of these are unshaded. Which means that we know this one has to be shaded. Is that right? Yes, because we have a cannot be a 2x2. So this has to be shaded, which means this is unshaded. This has to connect with the shaded region, so therefore this is shaded. So the 2 has to be somewhere here. But the problem is if the 2's here, it would be next to a 1, and therefore it'd have to be shaded. So this has to be the 2 specifically. So this cannot be 2. We know this is 2. So this can't be 2. So this has to be 2 because it's next to a 1. The 1 okay, so the 1 has to be in the center. Otherwise, it would have something in the surrounding 8 cells, which it's next to. So this has to be 1. So this can't be 1. This can't be 1. This has to be 1. So 2's over there, which is fine. 3 is one of these 2. This cannot be 4, because if it were 4, it would have to see that. And I have to be next to that, which is not possible. So this is an 8 or 9. So this is 3, 4, 3, 4, which means this can't be 4. If any of these were 6, it would be next to the 5, so that cannot be there. This can't be 6. This has to be 6. Oh, that's one thing I didn't realize. Yeah. There's always going to be one around it that's shaded. I mean, obviously. So if this is 2, that's 3. If this is 2, that's 3. I think this is always 3. Right? If this is 2, this has to be 3. It's a little more. So this can't be 2. So this is 9. Is that 3? This is 2. So this can't be 9. This can't be 9. This can't be 3. So 3 is one of those. Oh yeah, we already knew that though. If this is 4, it would not be next to 3, so that doesn't work because it's not shaded no matter what. This same problem. If this is 4, the 3 would have to be here. And the 4 could not be shaded. So none of these are 4. Therefore, this is the 4. So this cannot be 4. So the 3 is one of these. The 4 has to be one of those. And it's shaded. So the 4 has to be 3, 4. Has to be 3, 4. If this is 5, it would be shaded and see both. So it cannot be 5. The 5 is one of these two, which is fine. Yeah. 6 is one of those two, which is fine. Yep. This cannot be 7 here. If this is 7, it would be shaded next to, because it would have to be next to a 6, so that can't be 7. So this is 7. This can't be 7. We know the 7 is one of those. This could be 8 somewhere. So this is 6, 8, 9, which means this can't be 8 or 9. So if this is 8, it's next to a 7, right? If this is 9, this has to be 8. So this is 7. So this can't be 5 again because it's next to a 4. And therefore it would have to be shaded. If this is 5, that's 4. If this is 5, That can't work. So this cannot be 5 either. If this is 5, that's next to a 4. So any of these could be 5. This could be 6. This could be 6. That could be 6. And that could be 6. So this cannot be 6, though. If this was a 6, the 5 would have to be there. So this can't be 6. So one of these two is 6. So if this is 6, that's either of these 5. If this is 6, this has to be 5. And 6 cannot be here. 6 cannot be here because then the 5 would be here and that would not be shaded. Okay. Um, 7. So, well, that can't be 7. That can't be 7 because it's not next to a 6, so this cannot be 7. This cannot be 7 either because that would have to be 6, and then that would be 5. Okay, so this can't be 7. This can't be 7. This could be 7, and this could be 7. So those are both valid. 8 and 9, I'm not sure, so let's just fill these in. 8 and 9, okay, that can't be 8 or 9. That's interesting. So if this is 8 or 9, that fits because all the 7s are here. If this is 8 or 9, that could be 7, so that's possible. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 3 and 4 are not next to each other. 2 cannot be here because if 2 were here, one of 3 would have to be shaded. So this cannot be 2. Okay. This cannot be 7 because if this is 7, no, that could be 8. That could be 9. So that's valid. Okay, so this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So if either one of these is 3, that would mean either it would be shaded next to a 2, or a 4 would be shaded next to it. So 3 cannot be either of these, right? If this is 3, that's either 2 or 4. If it's a 2, the 3 would have to be shaded, but it's not. If it's a 4, the 4 would have to be shaded, but that's not. So this cannot be 3. Therefore, this has to be the 3. So this can't be 3. 4 cannot be here anymore because it's not next to a 3. Therefore, this is 4. So this becomes 8, 9, 8, 9. This has to be 7. So this can't be 7. This has to be the 5 because it's the only place. This is 2. So this can't be 2. This has to be 4. And 2 is one of them. So this can't be 7. This can't be 2 or 4. This can't be 2 or 4. This can't be 5 or 6. This can't be 6. So this has to be a 6. This is next to whatever it is. So if this was an 8, that would not work. So this has to be 9. So this is 8. This is 8. This is 9. This is 8. So this would have to be 6 because a 9 would have to be shaded. This can't, one of them is, that's fine. So this is 7, except 5, 7. This is 9. This can't be 9. This can't be 9. This can't be 8 because it would be next to both. Wait, but then. Wait. This doesn't work. We've got a problem. Because this cannot be 7 or 8. But it can't be 2 either. Yeah, this is problematic. I don't know how far back it was. Maybe here? I don't know. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It cannot be 3, 5, or 6. Again, if this is 6 and 9, this cannot be 2. If this was 2, okay, let's just add a whole bunch of values here. Because this can't be 3, the 4 has to be there. Let's just add 5s. Let's add 6s around. This can't be 7, 8, or 9. Let's add 7s around. 8s and 9s. Why this can't be 7? It cannot be 4. Yeah, that's valid. So this has to be 3, 4, 3, 4, which means this cannot be 2. This cannot be 8. If this was 8, this would have to be 7 and 7, and therefore it would have to be shaded. So this is 7 or 9, this is 7 or 9, this has to be 8. Which means that can't be 8, this can't be 8, this can't be 8, this can't be 8. So 8's one of these 3. Oh, I think... No, it's problematic. Oh, wait, I think I was correct. I think I just messed up. Anyways, let's continue on. Again, 3 here cannot be... If the 3 is on the outside, it's either next to a 2, in which case the 3 would have to be shaded, or it's next to a 4, in which case the 4 would have to be shaded, and that doesn't work. This cannot be 3, therefore this has to be 3, because it's the only one that has 3. 4 has to be next to it and shaded. So this has to be 2, and this becomes... So this is 4, so this is all correct. This can't be 4. So 5 has to be here, and then 6 has to be here. This can't be 5 or 6. This is 7, 9, 7, 9. It becomes 3, 4, 3, 4. This cannot... actually, it could be either. So this is 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, and 9. So 7 can be in any of the spots. Actually, that works. Huh. We know this is 7. So this could be 8. This cannot be 8. If this is 8, we know it's next to a 7. So that's 6 or 9. 3 and 4 are not next to each other. 3 is not next to 2. 4 is not next to 3. 5 and 6 are not next to each other. This could still be 7 or 9. 7 could be next to 6, or 9 could be next to 8. Oh wait, this can't be 9. If this is 9, that would have to be shaded. So this is 7, this is 9. It's that 8. This becomes 7, 8, 9. That's 9. Okay, so this is 9. Yeah, I guess I just messed up this part. So that can't be 9. So this is 6, 8, which is not next to each other. Therefore, this has to be 8. And that's 6 because the 9 has to be next to 8. So this can't be 8. This has to be 9. So the 8 cannot be anywhere here. So this is 8. So this is 7, 6, and 5. This is 2, 6, and 8. This is 5 and 6. This is 7. This is 9. This is 2. This is 7. This is 5. This is 7. Okay, I don't know how I eliminated 7 there. I think that was the problem. I eliminated 7 there. 5, 7, and 9. This cannot be 4 because there would be an arrow here. So this has to be a 3. This is 4. This is 4. And this is 3. And that's the solution. Yeah, interesting puzzle. definitely like not hard per se. It just you have to have the logic. Just don't make a mistake like I did, like here. But yeah, let's check. Okay, so numbers one. This is gonna have to be a long check though. One, there's nothing. There's not one shaded here. There's not one shaded here. Six, there are six shaded here. There's five shaded here, so that's fine. Four, there's not four. There's three here. This is five. This is one, two, three, four, five. There's no seven. There's no seven. There's no eight. There's no eight. There's no eight. There's no nine. Okay, so nines should not have an arrow next to them. Eights, it's going to be very hard. And basically all of them don't. Sevens is going to be hard too. Sixes, we have one. And that's, yeah. Because sixes are also hard. Fives are interesting because this is the sixes. This is four. This is two. This is three, four, two, one, four. That's five. Sorry. 3, 5, 4, 2. Yeah. 5. The fives are going to be more likely. So this is 5. This is 5. This has 5. This has. Okay, so then this is 5. That's 5. So that's 5. This is 5. This is 0. This is 3, 3, 1. That's not 4. No arrow. 4, 3, 1, 1. Okay, in the middle, it doesn't work. 2, 4, 2. So that's fine. 3, 1, 1, 1. That's fine. 4, 0. That's fine. 5, and it has an arrow. 4. So that's fine. So all the 5s are accounted for. 4, this is 6, so that doesn't work. And this is 3, and there's no arrow. This has 1, 2, 1, 3, so there's no arrow. This has 4 and 4, 1, 1, and the appropriate arrows. This has 3 and 0, 0, so that's appropriate, no arrows. This has 2, 3, 1, 1, there's no arrows. This has 3, 3, 2, 0, no arrows. This has 2, 5, 0, which is no arrows. 2, 5, 3, so no arrows, and this is 5, 0, 0, no arrows. So the 4s are all correct. This has 4, 1, 4, no arrows. 0, 4, 0, no arrows. 2, 1, 4, 2, no arrows. This has 1, 2, 1, 1, no arrows. 2, 1, 2, 3 in the correct arrow in there. It says 1, 1, 1, 3 in the correct arrow. This has 4, 2, 1, 0, which is no arrows. This has 3, 4, 2 in the correct arrows. It says 0 and 5, which is correct arrows. So 2s. This is 5 and 4, no arrows. 0, 3, 1, 3, no arrows. 3, 2, 2, 1, the correct arrows in the right spots. This is 1, 1, 2, 3 with arrow in the correct spot. This has 4, 1, 3, 1 with no arrows. This has 0, 3, 4, 1 with no arrows. This has 0, 4, 1, 1 with no arrows. This has 5, 4, 1, 0 with no arrows. And this is 0, 0 with no arrows. And now look at 1. Also, yeah, this works with the yin yang. The 1s. Okay, so this has 6, 0, and no arrows. This has 1, 1, correctly having arrows. This has 1, 1, 4, 3. The correct arrows in the right spot. This is 1, 2, 4, 2 with 1 arrow in the right spot. This has 3, 0, 6, 2 no arrows. This has 4, 4, 1, 0 with arrows in the correct spot. It says 1, 1, 1, and 4 with arrows in the correct spot. It says 6 and 5 with no arrows. This has 3, 0, and 0. No arrows. So, yeah, those all work. So, that is the correct solution. Anyways, I hope you had a good time watching me solve this, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.